The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Wednesday. Ah, boy, I looked a little tiny there. It's Wednesday, the 4th day of December 2024. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamal Hartman, and Teo Dill will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in the news break brought to you by People's. We've made it to the middle of the week, folks. The middle of the week. How's everyone feeling? It's hump day. We are, almost over the hump. Michelle Doors says a winning Wednesday to all this morning. I like that. Never heard that one. Winning Wednesday. Sending a winning Wednesday out to everyone. And David Michael Wilson says, have a wonderful Wednesday, 1-0. Indeed. A happy Wednesday, a wonderful Wednesday, an excellent Wednesday, a great Wednesday and a healthy and productive Wednesday to everyone. All right. Greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today. As we welcome Rashida Godwin of Titan Tours on, we're going to be discussing the Kwanzaa celebrations in Bermuda. Yeah, Kwanzaa in Bermuda. The daily play is going to be more holiday trivia. And as you know, if you get the answer correctly first on my screen, then you will be entered into this week's draw along with the others who have been successful so far this week. We'll be announcing another prize winner today. So you don't want to go. Another $50 voucher will be given away today. Again, you must be tuned in and sent an email. Props to Nicole Hassel. She sent her email prior to today's show. She sent it yesterday. So if you win, if you're successful in hearing your name called, you must send an email prior to showtime the next day. Once we hit that live button, if you haven't sent us anything, then you will not be the winner. All right. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right, let's jump into today's conversation. A lot of chat yesterday. Before we get into that, Suzanne Ingham says, awesome Wednesday, Jamal and Teo. Yes, Jamal, it's the middle of the week. When I awoke this morning, I thought it was Friday. It was going to be a little longer week for me. Just hoping for Friday. Headley and Swan says, feeling excited as today is my mom's 81st birthday. Well, happy new year to Mama Adeline. We are sending warm birthday wishes out to your mom, and may she have a healthy, productive upcoming year, and please give her all the love that she wants and deserves today, Adeline. All right, let's jump into today's conversation. So a lot of chat these last couple days as the Royal Gazette, which is Bermuda's only daily printed newspaper and major news outlet, has announced that they will be moving digital. So on Monday on Twitter, they announced that they'll be moving towards digital. What does that mean? The headline said a new digital first chapter for the Gazette. Basically, the Royal Gazette is proud to announce an exciting chapter in its history. Since the formation in 1828, the newspaper has been a reliable source of independent journalism as Bermuda's go-to for unbiased, in-depth reporting. That has been our mission, purpose, and charter. Starting December 3rd, 2024, they embrace a digital-first strategy, introducing a modernized platform to serve the community better to ensure long-term sustainability in a rapidly evolving media landscape. So they answer some questions. Why now? Well, the media industry is undergoing transformative changes driven by advancements in artificial intelligence, digital media, and shifts in advertising strategies. To remain at the forefront of trustworthy journalism, the Royal Gazette has invested in a state of the art revamp, changing the face of our desktop and mobile presentations with a view to providing a more engaging and accessible digital experience. Readers can look forward to these enhanced user experience, a sleek mobile first design that offers seamless navigation, improved accessibility, which is faster load times and a more intuitive interface, minimal downtime during launch. While the upgrade is expected to be smooth, readers may experience brief downtime during the early hours of Tuesday, and introducing new subscription models and pricing. The Royal Gazette will implement a registration wall and content limit to sustain high quality journalism and support our mission of keeping Bermuda connected. Readers can enjoy complimentary access without a Royal Gazette account. You have up to 7 standard articles and 3 monthly premium articles by registering for a free account. These content limits disappear and you have unrestricted access to the archives. Registered access, once registered, the articles will no longer be limited, and you have access to the archives and commenting. Subscription options, paid plans for unlimited access and uninterrupted reading. Look, there's been a lot of opinions about this. A lot of opinions about this. And I've had my opinions about this as well. You all heard me last week. It's weird because the public, I understand the public. You already feel like, you're paying for this, you're paying for that. But I saw some tweets over the weekend said, retailers are expecting a record, sales during Black Friday. But just a month ago, we were complaining about eggs and price of gas, right? And bread. At the end of the day, I think, people should be able to spend their money how they choose. It's when they ask others for more that's an issue. I said this last week as it related to Clarion Bank. People were going off saying why no news outlets are reporting on Clarion Bank. And it's a very thin line. It's a thin line because, everybody wants a certain type of journalism, investigative journalism, hard journalism. But nobody wants to pay for it. And while I agree, in a traditional sense that news should be free and accessible, this industry has changed so much. It's changed a lot. And there's a reason that many news mediums outside of Bermuda have moved towards subscription-based paid and pricing models. This is not new or unique to Bermuda. Question of the morning is, what are your thoughts on subscription-based news outlets? What are your thoughts on subscription-based news outlets? What are your thoughts on, and just a question, yes or no, would you pay to access news in Bermuda? Would you pay to access news in Bermuda? Now, going back to the Clarion Bank example is, if the Royal Gazette, let's use the Royal Gazette since we're talking about them. If Clarion Bank, and I'm not sure if they are, I'm just speaking just saying if they're one of their biggest advertisers or sponsors, and they run this story and allow comments, what do you think that means for their relationship? Now, I know people are saying, oh, well, what about integrity? See, everyone wants to talk about integrity and honesty, but no one wants to talk about sustainability. No one wants to talk about sustainability. We asked the question in our survey, how many people would you like to, or we asked, it was a question in the Daily Hour survey, would you financially support the Daily Hour, right? And financial support could be $1 a month. And I'm always fascinated by the people who say no. simply because it's like, so you like what you're getting, but you just like it for free. Folks, in order to do the things that you enjoy, it does cost money. And so for you to get the news that you would like, I mean, I give a lot of props to Sam Strangeways. She's a gem. She's a national treasure. Sam Strangeways is probably the only investigative reporter we have in Bermuda right now. If I'm the Royal Gazette, I'm thinking, you know what? We should charge for her stories. But as a reader, I'm probably like, no, that information needs to be free. It's tough. It's tough. But I want people to understand sustainability. In order to sustain so that Sam Strangeways can continue to give you the information that you desire about your taxpaying dollars and holding your government to account and sharing information and stories that are of benefit to you, there has to be revenue generated. What are your thoughts on subscription-based news outlets, audience? And would you pay to access news in Bermuda? Yes or no? We've got Teodil says, this is just another way that social media has broken the world. We're also used to the internet being free. Paying for essential online services like news gathering propagation feels weird. Yeah, it does. But also, Teo, I'm glad you brought up social media. Elon Musk, over the last month or so, has been on Twitter X speaking about, mainstream media is dead. You are the new media. That's dangerous to me because you're making any and everyone with a social media account on X believe that they are the new media, and they don't require any training. They don't no fact checking, that they can just share information. There has to be checks and balances. There has to be checks and balances. And again, a lot of things have been free to us. Like the internet has spoiled us. And I know some people would say, well, can't they just get more sponsors and advertisers? Folks, they can. But then you will complain about them not doing a story that may involve a sponsor or advertiser. I think it was I.O. Johnson, I think so, that started a website and had a subscription paid model, right? From what I know, people didn't support it. He's tried it, and he was delivering quite good stories. But I'm asking honestly, audience, yes or no? Because there's no one answer yes. Would you pay to access news in Bermuda? Yes or no? Would you pay? Shay MSW on Instagram says yes. She'd pay. Suzanne Ingham on Facebook says yes, low cost. Well, what's low cost? And I don't know the price of models, so the Royal Gazette probably have them somewhere, or you can go sign up. I'm going to be honest with you. I get most of my local news from Maya, Teo, Nal Simone, and the Royal Gazette. That's where I got my news. So if that's where I get my news, I'm not just not going to get it because they're charging for it now. I valued it when it was free, so I'm going to value it when there's a cost. It reminds me of the Daily Hour. There was an election coming in 2020. And someone reached out about a political party, wanted to come on the show. Oh, yeah, we have this. We'd like to come on. Once we gave them a price to come on the Daily Hour, oh, well, what's your numbers? Well, hold up. When you thought it was for free, you valued us and you wanted to come on. Soon as we told you it was a price, oh, now you had questions. We've got to do better as a community. I saw something yesterday, and this quote's been going around for years, right? And it says, stop asking your friends and family for discounts in their business. It's real. If you value something, if you appreciate something, and you're able, support it. If you read the Gazette, you obviously value something in there, support it. I don't work for the Royal Gazette. I'm not advocating for them. You've heard me on this show. I hold them to account on certain things. But I'm simply saying we have to understand that the world evolves beyond us. And this is a simple, like to many, this is way overdue. Would you pay to access news in Bermuda, folks? And also, what are your thoughts on subscription-based news outlets in Bermuda? Let's go back to the audience. Few comments coming through. All right, Charles H. Jefferson II says social media has changed people's expectations and willingness to pay for things we once paid for. Younger people may not have ever bought a newspaper. Correct, but they definitely have want access to news. Most of the news outlets the world over on the internet are subscription-based now, though. I mean, I read stories on certain sites like New York Times or, whatever, and sometimes it says I've hit my limit for the month. Or sometimes I'll get to read the story and I'll forward it to someone. They're like, oh, paywall. I said, oh, you guess you've hit your limit for the month. This is not new. This is not new. David Michael Wilson says, I feel that if we are to pay for the sustainability, then the people responsible for bringing it to us must also have integrity. Well, absolutely. That's the payoff, brother. That's the payoff, David. Right? If the people are paying for something, then yeah, you want integrity. You want to feel like you're getting real news. Unbiased. Teodil says, yep, it's all a part of the gradual anti-expertise movement rolling through the developed world. We don't trust experts, institutions, for kind of understandable reasons, but without any acceptable replacement. And what Teo's referring to here is, I think, the dangerous precedent that's being set by Elon Musk, which is pretty much telling everyone they're a journalist, that they're an expert at sharing information. It's dangerous because when you get to that space, there's no checks and balances. I am all for freedom of movement and free people sharing information freely and engaging freely. I'm all for it. What are your thoughts, audience? What are your thoughts on subscription-based news? What are your thoughts? Are you in favor of subscription-based news? What are your thoughts on it? This is a big change for Bermuda. WKD Lama says, yes, there should be subscription services. No, I would not pay for it. Okay. It's going to be interesting because I'll be interested to see how the Royal Gazette is in a year time from this. It'll be very interesting to see where we're at in a year's time with this. David Michael Wilson says, sometimes we only go to the RG because they are the only known news source or the other carriers don't publish the articles. So sometimes going elsewhere isn't an option. Yeah. And if you're the RG, you know that, then, hey, look, we're a dying entity as far as producing newspapers. What can we do to remain sustainable, to be able to push out relevant news and be able to keep people employed? Nicole Hassel says, no, she would not pay. Charles H. Jefferson II says, this is why I don't complain about advertisers on my social media accounts. Nothing of value is free. If you're paying, you should see limited or no advertising. Indeed, Charles. I concur. Shika Rana says, if there was one more than, sorry, my apologies, Shika Rana. If there was more than one news source in Bermuda, remember Bermuda Sun and Mid-Ocean, then I could decide which one to pay for. Well, I mean, you've got Burn News. I mean, I know people have been critical of Burn News. It's just press releases. It's not real journalism, whatever. I think Burn News is more of community news at this point. Going to different events, streaming different things. I think they do a wonderful job in their space, where I think the Royal Gazette represents a broader scope as well as investigative journalism. which requires experts, used to use the term Teo used, more experts on hand. Here's the thing, right? One thing I know, and Teo, I'm gonna bring Teo in because I think he's gonna understand where I'm going with this. I want to say this before I bring him in. In the early 2000s, I believe it was Terry Lister may have been minister when the PLP pushed the dog ban and people were up in arms. I remember, believe it was Dr. the Honorable Ewart Brown was transport minister and the PLP pushed seatbelt law and people were up in arms. This is no different. Things happen and we complain and then we move on. That's just how it is. All I want to say to people is nothing of value in life is going to be easy or free. Let's bring Teo in to continue this because I know he has a lot to say. This is a special topic to us. Folks, don't forget, Rashida Godwin's coming up. We're talking Kwanzaa today, but keep your comments coming because I think this is a very, very interesting conversation.
Hey Jay, morning. How you doing?
I'm okay, Tay. How you doing?
I am grateful that you chose this to be the subject of conversation today, because if we're going to keep it 1,000, this is the inevitable conclusion to, or at least transition that the Gazette is going through. Like you've heard from, and we're seeing that newspapers have been dying for decades now, right? And when I say dying, I mean they haven't not been able to generate the kind of advertising revenue to keep them function, to keep them able to do the reporting that's necessary to provide the kind of news people want. And I'm subscribed to the New York Times, the Washington Post, and the Atlantic. And it is like a recurring fee that I pay every month. I don't even think about it because it adds so much value to my life. Now, the piece of this that I think folks might not be considering is that if we complain about the quality of local news, right? And a lot of that has to do with resources. If you actually knew like the time investment required to do the kind of investigative journalism we wanted, I think you would understand why us paying a little something for it, just because like we're used to paying for papers. Correct. It's just doing the same thing online. Like that's it. But we're not used to that, and that's the annoying thing.
I think, and thank you for that. Thank you for that, and I thank you for your transparency, folks. I'm still cheap. I was talking about me, not the Teos of the world, when I said on New York Times. Like I do, I go under, and I'm upset that I can't read them, right? And let me be very clear. I'm not. This is not a judgment thing. What I'm about to say, but I don't ask people for the passwords neither, right? Why?
Well, good.
But I'm gonna tell you why. Because it reminds me of AO. I paid for a story on AO Johnson's site. I forget what it was called, Think Media or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Story. And the reason I paid, because I appreciated what this brother was trying to do. Right? Again, when you value something, you pay for it. But I want to touch on these comments real quickly, Taylor, and then we can respond to it. Cherie Dill says we should have a free public news source available to everyone. I don't like the idea of having to pay to stay up to date on general information about the country. I can get news for anywhere else in the world for free. Let's touch on this, Taylor. So based on what I read from the Royal Gazette, you're going to get a few stories a month for free, right? Now, I've always been a proponent. I've said it on this show, and I've said it on social media, that I believe news shouldn't be, you shouldn't have to pay for information. The truth of the matter in that statement I just made, we do pay for information. Everyone on this tuned in right now who has a college degree, you got information. You paid for it. Whether you go public or private school, your children, as a student, you're getting information, you're paying for it. I think what's happening is kind of what Teo just said. In our minds, we're not used to it, but guess what? As Teo just said, think about it. Just think about it. You always purchased a newspaper whether it was 25 cents or $3. You paid for it. So while I understand her statement that news should be free, we've always paid for it. If you have Bermuda Broadcasting on your TV, there's a fee that comes off on your bill, $11.99 a month or something. You're paying for it. The point I'm trying to make is, again, what Teo said in a more ridiculous way is that you're already paying for news. You're already paying for information. I'm not here to make excuses for the Royal Gazette. What I'm here to do is make sense of what I asked on Twitter, Elon's app yesterday. I said, what's the complaint about? I want to understand. I just want to understand. I'm not trying to change anyone's mind. I'm trying to understand it. And if you say something that I disagree with, I'm not just going to try to change your mind. I'm just going to share information, you know what Teo does to me, that may make you think about your point a bit deeper. I want to touch on this real quickly. I need to tell you, I got to get the news. Charles H. Jefferson II, he says, some news outlets only distribute press releases. That's not journalism. The RG goes beyond the press releases. They tend to put the puzzle together. A press release is usually only one piece of it. Mm-hmm. And then Sheree Dill goes on to say, out here we are billed /tax quarterly for local media. Think is $30 to $75. And I have probably never watched a Swiss TV station or read a newspaper, but at least it's an available resource if needed. Okay.
Mm-hmm. The one thing I would add, Jay, is just to sort of drill down a little deeper into the point that you were making. That is to say, we are definitely accustomed to paying for information, but more precisely, and I think this is the problem, we are accustomed to paying for experts to collate, aggregate, interpret, and summarize the information. Right? Mm-hmm. Like when you go to school, it's not like they just put you in a library with a whole bunch of encyclopedias or just stick you on Wikipedia so they figure it out. Like that is what we pay for, that expertise. And the problem is the intellectual expertise movement that's been rolling through the developed world for a generation or so, coincidentally, right at the time when the internet really started to pop, when that sort of gap was closed, right? Like you no longer had to go to the experts to really understand stuff. You could just access to all the information yourself and interpret it accordingly. And the consequence of that is that we no longer trust things that we don't already agree with, I think. Right? Like there's a really, really cool quote from Isaac Asimov. He wrote this, the professor of biochemistry and science fiction writer. This conversation makes me think of. He wrote this in 1980, right? He said, there is a cult of ignorance in the United States. And you know, as is generally the case, that applies for us too. And there always has been. The strain of anti-intellectualism has been a constant thread widening its way through our political and cultural life, nurtured by the false notion that democracy means my ignorance, that is to say, my opinion, is just as good as your knowledge. Right? And the space that social media takes up in our lives just validates and intensifies that point. Like folks confuse the opportunity to get access to a platform with legitimacy. Like just because you can build an audience of millions does not mean that you're saying anything of value or anything that's even true.
Bingo. That last part. It doesn't mean you're saying anything that's actually true. And that is the danger in Elon's app. I'm focusing on that because he keeps telling people on that app, you are the new media. It's dangerous. It's yeah. I'll stop there. But folks, this is an ongoing conversation. Hopefully we can get someone on from the RG to go a bit deeper with us. But I saw people's comments and, you know, obviously what happened with Bermuda Broadcasting last night. Apparently the news didn't happen as planned. They had some issues, technical, but hey, we're in a very interesting space. So
yeah, man, there's a lot of opportunity available for somebody that has the vision and knows what they're doing. To not only provide incredibly valuable service to the country, but also make a lot of money. You know, like there's space for this. You know, but as far as news is concerned, got some for you now. So Representation matters, especially when considering marginalized groups, particularly in relation to people with disabilities. This from Minister of Youth, Social Development and Seniors, Sinead Ferbert, during her remarks as part of yesterday's ceremony celebrating the UN International Day of Persons with Disabilities celebration, where she underlined our national commitment to building a more equitable society, particularly in relation to folks with disabilities.
Identifying needs and solutions for challenges facing persons with disabilities, the international rallying cry of disability activists globally must come to mind and be respected. That is, nothing about us without us. This means that persons with disabilities must be included in decisions that impact their lives.
I agree. Absolutely, they should be included.
Mm-hmm. And globally, disabled folks or folks with disabilities, I should say, they are like the most marginalized community of people, and that we're all broadly comfortable with. Like the way that they are pushed to the edges of society as a matter of course is something that we don't fuss about with like any kind of appropriate intensity. I think
what's crazy is one of my most recent employers, right? Every time they spoke about DEI, they never mentioned people with disability. And I would always bring it up. I would literally, it bothered me, right? I'm like, I think we're so focused on what's popular. And I'm like, there are so many people with disabilities who we just don't discuss because it doesn't seem popular. It doesn't seem like it's going to get us, likes and views. I'm like, nah, these people have been around forever and they are us. But that word you use, we're so comfortable.
Like we just accept the premise.
Yeah.
And that's why I was so grateful for the minister's remarks. Another thing that I think we'll all be broadly grateful for, you know how everybody's complained that there's not enough trades training in Bermuda over the years, despite the Bermuda College's Applied Science Center, which has been offering a whole bunch of qualifications in a whole bunch of different fields for decades. I'm just saying. But if you're somebody who's been complaining about the absence of trades training for years, and if you're a qualified, experienced professional in one of those fields, you can join the Department of Workforce Development to help build out their upcoming skilled trades apprenticeship program. The program is focused on high demand areas, specifically carpentry, plumbing, and masonry. They're looking for industry partners to help train the professionals that we need to meet our growing construction demands, strengthen industry standards, build out your team, just make everything better. Now, there's a meeting from 6 to 7 p.m. on December 16th to talk about how it's all going to work and how you can participate. You can find out more by emailing jdbutterfield@gov.bm or calling 525-0056.
I love it. No complaints. Stop complaining. I mean, honestly, I don't mean to be that person. Stop complaining about tech being shut down. It's been like over 50 years now. Come on.
Yeah, it's not relevant at this stage in current Bermudian life. Got some more good news. Congratulations, a very well-deserved, well done to Bermuda Cancer and Health Center's newly announced CEO and medical director, Dr. Chris Fosker, for being chosen to participate in the recently published journal Cancer Control 2024, Cancer Care in Emerging Health Systems. Dr. Fosker's article underlines the center's significant contributions to cancer care in Bermuda, focusing the mind on the issue by comparing the inactivity around climate change with a similar lack of action on cancer care. One of the most consequential details in his contribution, which you can see here, is the fact that within under 10 years, the BCHC has transitioned from sending 70 patients a year to the U.S. for radiotherapy to treating 200 here on the island. Don't have to send them away anymore for the care they need, which is spectacular. So shout out to the BCHC.
Yeah, love that.
In other cancer news, because our cancer rates are similar to what happens in the US, which is to say around the 4th highest in the developed world, this next story is really, really important. And this might shake you up a little bit because this sounds like the not too distant future as opposed to right now. There's a series of medical trials running in the UK that could, if successful, revolutionize cancer treatment for our entire planet. BioNTech, one of the pharmaceutical companies that helped design one of the COVID vaccines, have developed, wait, listen to this, personalized cancer vaccines. I'm serious.
This is the key moment when Elliot receives his vaccine, tailor-made in Germany by pharma company BioNTech to fight his cancer. He'll get up to 15 doses during the trial. So how does it work? Elliot's personalized vaccine uses the same mRNA technology as found in current COVID jabs. a sample of Elliot's tumour was analysed and proteins unique to his cancer were identified. The mRNA vaccine instructs his cells to produce these rogue proteins. The hope is this will stimulate Elliot's immune system to recognise and kill any remaining traces of cancer.
I love it, man.
Isn't that something?
Man, I love it.
Cancer could be cured in our lifetime if this thing works.
I hope so, man.
Mhm.
It's crazy, and not to go too personal, but I just had a meeting with Bermuda Cancer and Health Center yesterday, and one of the things that I told them why I want to have more discussions with them is, the personal thing, with my mom, getting diagnosed with cancer in her 50s, when it becomes personal, you want to, and I always say this, that we shouldn't have to experience things to want to help and want to make a difference, so I'm hopeful for that. I am.
Yeah. I have some other extraordinary medical news too. It's not related to cancer, but it is related to something that's essential for the continuation of our species. Now, many couples struggle to conceive a child for a whole bunch of reasons. One of the most prevalent of these reasons is men having low sperm counts, not through any fault of their own, right? Scientists may have figured out a possible solution to this problem, not from changing your diet or improving your exercise or even taking a particular medicine. It is so much more science fiction-y than that, but it's real. Tiny remote control robots that can carry sperm from the man over to the woman to fertilize.
Now scientists from the Institute for Integrative Nanosciences at IFW Dresden have come up with a possible solution to help sperm swim more quickly and effectively. The sperm bot, as the scientists call their invention, is a miniature metal helix just large enough to wrap around the tail of a single sperm and propel it towards an egg for potential fertilization. Once the sperm has entered the egg, the metal casing can reverse direction to slip off. The bots are remote controlled by the scientists with the help of a magnetic field.
Interesting.
Incredible.
Man, you just be bringing the stories, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, I'm grateful for this.
Are you fascinated by those last two stories, audience? My goodness, Taylor, thank you for this.
No, you're very welcome. Now, as far as weather is concerned, as you can already see, it's looking gray, it's looking windy, and it's going to look wet due to a bundle of low pressure patches driving through our airspace. Everything should clear up sometime between lunch and sunset today. But the big detail to keep your eyes on is the air temps, because they're going to fall to a 58-degree floor that, according to AccuWeather's Real Feel Index, is going to feel like it's a degree or two away from 50 degrees even. 50. It's cold. Keep your hoodie close. Zip that thing up.
Audience, don't be like me. I had a little cough last night, feeling down because it's 26 degrees when I woke up this morning here in Atlanta, and I went to the gym yesterday morning. You come sweating after a 2 mile or whatever, and you realize you're out there. It's 30 degrees, and you sweat, and you're just asking for trouble. So be responsible. Don't be like me. All right, don't be like me. So here's the days of the year for you, real quickly. So some quite interesting stuff. Cookie Day, Sock Day, but Santa's List Day. So I want to ask. I don't know if you guys believe in the heavyset guy in the red suit anymore, but what would be on your list for Santa this year, audience? What would be on your list for Santa this year, Taylor?
Honestly, just cool stuff for my kids and wife. That I don't want to say right now because Christmas is coming. So
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I promise the audience and I won't tell them, but they'll hear it themselves. So yeah. Audience, let us know what's on your Santa list. I don't really have one. I guess think seeing family healthy and happy. That's me. I'm not a material guy like that. So yeah, Tavy, we'll see you soon, man.
I appreciate you.
All
Thanks,
right, folks, if you've appreciated the conversation so far this morning, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. We're talking Kwanzaa with Rashida Godwin. We'll be back in 3 minutes, 13 seconds. Stick with us.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, We'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Unlock your business potential with BDC's General Microloan, offering up to $30,000 for Bermudian small and medium businesses. Whether it's for inventory, working capital, or equipment, we provide 100% guarantee on approved loans. Simple application, low interest rates, and fast processing. Apply today and make your business dream come true.
You won't miss out. Noah's Ark is open 7 days a week for the holiday season and with big savings. Whether it's everyday essentials like dog food or cat litter, or those items you've been eyeing all year like aquariums, our huge 8-page holiday flyer is out now, packed with incredible offerings until December 31st. And we're open every Sunday from 12 to 5 p.m. through to December 22nd. Visit noahsark.pm, view our sales flyer, and join our rewards program. Noah's Ark, your reliable pet care specialist, making your holidays even more special.
Live exceptionally with HSBC MasterCard Pay with Rewards. Transform your points into what you love and get closer to winning an unforgettable trip to Dubai or one of 3 luxury experiences in Bermuda. To start following these steps, download the Pay and Rewards app from the App Store or Google Play. Register your HSBC MasterCard credit card in the app. Set your preferences to use points automatically or for your next purchase. Use your HSBC MasterCard for every purchase and redeem your points into rewards. In addition, for every $300 spent with your HSBC MasterCard, earn a chance to win an incredible monthly experience. Terms and conditions apply. HSBC is licensed to conduct banking and investment business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
Bermuda Trivia, the Black History Edition, is now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Visit bermudatrivia.com or email contact@bermudatrivia.com to learn more.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Big Show. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Do not forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Audience, I did ask what's on your list for Santa. Charles H. Jefferson II says, my list, cure for cancer. I am with you on that, Charles. Suzanne Ingham says, Santa's list, food on the table is all. Yes, indeed. Well, let's bring our guest for the day. We are a bit behind, but we will make up that time. We've got Rashida Godwin from Titan Tours. Let's give a warm TDH welcome our good friend back to the show. Oops, wrong one. My goodness, Rashida, sorry about that. Not intense. Mike, see what Morning, how are you?
No worries. Good morning, Bao. Bao, we go way back to.
Yeah, you're the last person I would do that to. One, my goodness. I mean, could that happen last week? But anyway,
yeah.
Rashida, thank you for your patience. Thanks for doing this. First off, the first thing I noticed is your shirt. Dream, lead, think right. Appreciate
and build.
And see, I missed the last.
It's a lot.
Challenge. Man,
challenge, yeah.
I hope they're selling one of those at the event we're going to be talking about. But for those who may not know, Rashida, you've been on this show quite a few times, but just remind people a bit about your background and what it is that you do.
My name is Rashida Godwin. I work for Titan Tours. I just do tours and transportation, and it's a lot of work behind that. We have about 8 buses doing mostly transportation and tours for like the cruise ships and stuff like that. Now we're coming to the end of another season, so we're looking forward to that. And then I also do the African diaspora tours, my AFA tours right here in Bermuda, and a lot of folks in schools call me up for that. And I also, another pivot to that, I'm also giving presentations. I gave a presentation just a few weeks ago to the Bermuda National Trust on language, decolonizing language, and that was oversubscribed and it was excellent. So I'm going to do a lot more in-house presentations as well too, just sharing about the culture, and then I also have, this is one of my other babies that's coming up called Kwanzaa, and I just love the idea of Kwanzaa.
And I'm glad that you shared all of that. I was like, don't be shy now.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't realize you had 8 buses now. Well, congratulations on that and growth. And for those who don't know, like Rashida's story, she was in pretty much the IB sector and, chose to go out on her own with her family and created this much needed space for Bermudians. And I want to ask the audience real quickly, yes or no, have you been on one of their tours, Titans tours? Because if you haven't, folks, go on one. Get there. They're helpful. It's helpful. And I say this not to be disrespectful to anyone, but having worked in Bermuda tourism, they don't share the things that you're going to learn from a Titan tour. Take from that what you will. You got a completely different aspect, a reality, a truth about Bermuda and its history. So I would just want to, on behalf of those, I know Karen Simmons says yes, she's been on a tour. Traveling Trotty says yes. Suzanne Ingham, we've got to get you on one. It honestly, it's you will enjoy it. You will not regret the experience. So I'm just hyping Rashida up. I know she won't let me down anytime. But let's jump into today. We're talking about Kwanzaa.
Yes.
Rashida, I'm not making fun of anyone. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But there are some people who, Black people, look like me, don't know what Kwanzaa is. Can you just explain what Kwanzaa is?
Yeah, no worries at all. Kwanzaa itself is a Pan-African holiday. It's for folks throughout the African diaspora so that they could learn how to connect to the African continent. It was created in the 1960s by Dr. Maulana Karenga, and you guys can look him up. And he is a historian. He's also a university professor. He's still alive today, actually. I think he's in his 90s. His hand is retired. And he actually has a website. You guys could actually go to the Kwanzaa website. Just Google Kwanzaa website, and you can find everything on the website there. And basically, he created this for Black people because even during the 1960s, and even as a historian, Blacks we've had much of a struggle throughout the system, continue on. And so, he found that it was necessary for us to be able to come together during a time to come celebrate our history, heritage, and culture. Not taking away anything from Christmas. Christmas is great. But at the same time, lots of folks do find it a hard time get about during Christmas, and especially even Black people, all sorts of people, the economic constraints, all those type of things. But Kwanzaa brings the community together as in a communal space, a safe space that they could enjoy, share stories, learn about African culture, African food, different things like that. And we could come together. We, even for the one I'm doing, we're even sharing a movie called Black Candle, and different things like that. So we come together, we come in camaraderie, in love, in joy, and so that we leave there with a takeaway of having had a good time together without having been stressed about any of societal issues.
I want to ask the audience, have you ever celebrated Kwanzaa? Audience, have you ever celebrated Kwanzaa? And that brings me to my next question is, why is celebrating Kwanzaa necessary in the community in Bermuda?
Kwanzaa in Bermuda is definitely necessary. Bermuda itself, like you said, if you come on a Titan tour, you'll learn a lot about the history, especially in terms of the history that happened to Black people on this island, the beginnings of that history, the origin story of our history here on this island. Like I said, jokingly, I say this with my children all the time, guys, we did not come on a carnival fun ship. It's on an all-you-can-eat buffet, as many of them want to believe that we do, and we believe that we're very inclusive in this society. But then we go into the society and then we're, lots of times discouraged, not understanding what's happening. And so, we are part of the African diaspora heritage. We are part of the Pan-Africanism that's also here in Bermuda as well, too. So we should be a part of Kwanzaa, and we should understand Kwanzaa because Kwanzaa helps to also keeps that history aspect with it, as well as the culture. And again, it helps us again to also connect to the African continent, which many of us, we descend from Africa. And so we should have an idea, and our children should have an idea of who are they? Our children should not be disillusioned on who they are. And unfortunately, our children are disillusioned in who they are because, and even many adults, we don't know who we are. Kwanzaa helps to give you an aspect of who you are and where you came from.
Indeed, and thank you for that. And I'm trying not to crap on traditional Christmas because I actually like Christmas. It's really
Yes, great. I do too.
But I think the importance of Kwanzaa is something that we can add to it rather than take away. But in saying that, we have this big event coming up, which I seen the flyer is exciting. Tell us about the Kwanzaa event that Titan is sponsoring happening at Treehouse.
Okay, great. Yeah, we're collaborating at Treehouse with Tiffany Painter over there. It's a new facility, so we're looking for folks to come in. How we're actually doing it is going to be a host of events and activities taking place throughout the day. So folks don't have to come feeling as though they have to stay there through the entire day. They could, partake in one of the activities. So we're starting off in the morning. We're starting at 11 o'clock. It's all happening on Sunday, December the 8th. It starts at 11 o'clock. And for those who don't know where Treehouse is on 12 Trot Road. It's actually on the road. It's off of Church Street, but it's that road at the end of Church Street that takes you over to where Quickie Licky Laundromat is. It's like a road there. So it's right there on the left. It's a brown building. So starting at 11 o'clock, Treehouse is going to be doing some Treehouse tours from about 11 to 12. And we have folks coming in just to, so that they could view the facility. Then from between 12 and right to 3 o'clock, we're also going to have vendors there, various vendors. The vendors are Black vendors. Most of them will be selling Kwanzaa stuff or, their different goods and different things like that. And then from 12:15 to 1 o'clock, we're going to be sharing a movie called Black Candle that's based on Kwanzaa, so you could get an idea of Kwanzaa. And then we're also going to be doing a mini Kwanzaa workshop as well too, with Walimu Missionary Van Patten. She's actually teaches Ashe classes for people who may know about her. But she's just going to give us a mini workshop. We're going to have activities for the children to do as well too, that they could take away with drawings and stuff like that. And then we're going to finish off with some great African vibes with Dunkwilly. Dunkwilly's going to come in and they're going to do a drumming circle. And we're just going to just leave there inspired and just continue to enjoy the holidays.
Indeed. And audience, if you have any questions or comments for Rashida, please send them through. This has me thinking about so many things, Rashida. Obviously, you've traveled to the continent. Do you try to do it every year now, by the way?
I try to, because, that's where my heart takes me, It's like going home to mom. And every time I land there, I just say, thank you, Mother Africa.
Yeah.
And it feels like mom. It feels like, and I go there and I do feel like I get encapsulated and I do feel as though my mom is spoiling me. The different things I experience.
It's interesting because I ask, and I've said it, publicly in number of platforms that I have no interest in going to Thailand or Asia or Europe. I only have an interest in going to Black Africa. And people understand it without me speaking, but one of the reasons is I want to spend my money and time learning about things I was never going to be taught about, and connecting with people who, as far as I know, are part of who I am and reflect who I am. But Kwanzaa intrigues me to want to understand how people throughout the diaspora, especially in Africa, Black Africa, celebrate these holidays. I'm inspired to learn how they go about doing things. But I want people to take something away from Kwanzaa is that we can all find our own ways to celebrate our ancestry. We don't have to wait on someone to do something for us. I think when I think about Kwanzaa and what you said, is really, you know what? Let's use this time to connect. And I think we should use every time to connect. I look at Cot Match, right, in Bermuda. It's a lot of drinking, it's cricket. But for me, I think it's a time to really connect with, what this game symbolizes. You've said it on this show before, the friendly societies, the hot second day is named after Mary Prince. Learn a bit more, like connect. So for me, using a time, I love the Christmas period to really connect with, the stories of your ancestors and building that communal, like that community vibe. I think is so important. So I'm grateful, and I hope that this isn't the last time that you all do this. But I have a question from Karen Simmons. She's asking, are the dates for Kwanzaa significant to the Pan-African diaspora?
Dr. Maranga pretty much decided that the actual Kwanzaa dates are after Christmas, from December the 26th to January the 1st. And like I said, I think more he picked it, he said, because he just wanted Black people in America at that time, because he's an African American, to learn to connect with the African continent. He didn't say, he mainly said he created Kwanzaa because it was during what was called the Watts riots in California. It was a lot of uprisings of the people during that time as well. It was always uprisings of the people, but in the 1960s, and people were feeling hopeless and helpless and just confusion, and so he felt as though why not, all these other holidays were created, even Christmas was created, so why not us Black people within the diaspora, we have a holiday for ourselves to connect with. And so it spread from there, and I'm bringing her to Bermuda. It's in places as far as even in Europe. It's big in London. It's even big in Atlanta, where you are too. So it's not. Yeah.
Well, what do you hope? On Sunday, again, just remind people it's free. It's happening on Sunday at Treehouse. But just remind, what do you want people to take away from this, like attendees?
I just want folks to take away that, again, lots of times we're in these seasons of holiday, and honestly, it's not a good season for a lot of people. Around these times could be really stressful. It's a lot of constraints economically, loss of family, different things like that. So we're just hoping that people could take away with just to be inspired, with just feeling a bit more good about themselves, just learning some things about history, culture, and just learning about our stories, and that they are continue to connect afterwards. Like they said, if a tour comes up, they'll be able to want to come and learn and do a tour and different things like that. So those are the type of takeaways I'm hoping for. Yeah.
Indeed. And again, just remind people it's free. Where is it taking place and what time?
It's a free event. It's taking place at Treehouse. It's a new facility off of 12 Trot Road in Hamilton. That's at the beginning of, like I said, Church Street. But it's that road, it's to the left there that brings you out. The other side will bring you out where Quickie Licky is. And so donations are welcome. Also, Treehouse, Tiffany and those guys, they could really use some donations. They don't charge much for the spot, so donations are welcome to Treehouse. We will just have a few refreshments there, not a lot of food, just a few refreshments. But we encourage folks, you could bring your own snacks if you want as well as your own drinks, and just come out and just have a good time without having to worry about different things.
All righty, Rashida, thank you so much. And thanks for the work that you're doing. Folks, get there Sunday. It's the 8th, right? The 8th of December.
Yeah, Sunday, December the 8th. Yeah.
All right. And I'm going to emphasize donations. But Rashida, thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, folks. Rashida, Godwin, if you appreciated the conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. We're going to take a final break. Get there. Support that event. We'll be back in 2 minutes, 41 seconds. Stick with us.
All right. Who was the first woman to become not just the first female opposition leader in Bermuda, but throughout the entire British Commonwealth?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans.
Hey, buddy. Hun, who was the first woman to serve as opposition leader, not just in Bermuda, but throughout the entire British Commonwealth?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans.
Mason, what did we say?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans.
Dame Lois Brown Evans. Where do you find that?
Mommy played Bermuda Trivia.
Mommy playing Bermuda Trivia.
Oh, honey, I'm so proud of you. Good job.
It's true. Children are a reflection of their environment. Bermuda's favorite trivia game, fun with a purpose. To educate, to entertain, to inform, to inspire, to learn, and to enjoy. Bermuda Trivia. All volumes now available at various stores throughout Bermuda. Visit bermudatrivia.com to learn more and follow Bermuda Trivia on your favorite social media platforms.
Live exceptionally with HSBC MasterCard Pay with Rewards. Transform your points into what you love and get closer to winning an unforgettable trip to Dubai or one of 3 luxury experiences in Bermuda. To start following these steps, download the Pay and Rewards app from the App Store or Google Play. Register your HSBC MasterCard credit card in the app. Set your preferences to use points automatically or for your next purchase. Use your HSBC MasterCard for every purchase and redeem your points into rewards. In addition, for every $300 spent with your HSBC MasterCard, earn a chance to win an incredible monthly experience. Terms and conditions apply. HSBC is licensed to conduct banking and investment business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Paired with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
All right, welcome back. And thanks again to Rashida Godwin from Titan Tours for stopping by, conversation about Kwanzaa. Folks, get there, support this event. I want to hear that you've all attended. Charles did ask what time on Sunday, and thank you. Karen, she responded, it is 11 to 3. The movie Black Candle, actually, it's going to be 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. So, yeah, check it out. Honestly, if you're able, please do support this event. Looking forward to hearing good things. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring we can have these conversations with you on a regular basis. Again, audience, if you haven't already, just do us a quick favor. Give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. We appreciate your support and expanding what it is we do. Today's winner for the survey, it's a $50 gift voucher to Noah's Ark, and that will go to the person whose email begins with FN Walker. So F as in Frank, N as in Nancy, Walker. You are the winner. You FN Walker. You are the winner of today's $50 gift voucher to Noah's Ark. So please send us an email at engage@thedailyhour.com prior to tomorrow's show. If you don't send it by 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, then, well, we move on without you. So, FN Walker, if your email begins with FN Walker, please send us an email at engage@thedailyhour.com to claim your $50 gift voucher to Noah's Ark. All right, it's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, it's holiday trivia. Who's going to enter? All right, here we go. What carol contains the line, quote, "Let earth receive her king," end quote. All right, so we have two. So Sheldon Fox showed up for us. We know he meant joy to the world, but there's an E. And we know the W and the E are next to each other. Then we had NTS who said joy to the world. Audience, are we giving it to Sheldon Fox? Are we giving it to Sheldon Fox? Let us know. I think you all are going to give, based on presidents, you're going to give it to Sheldon Fox. Congratulations, Sheldon. You are in this week's draw. So let's give it to Sheldon. Congratulations. All right, it's time to wrap it up. Folks, I'll say this much regarding the media and paid subscriptions, as I said earlier. I think the only complaint we have is that we love to complain about things that are new. I think that whether it's the seatbelt law, dangerous dogs law, not catching parrotfish back in the day, whenever something new comes across our desk, we have concerns. We don't support it. It angers us. Truth is, if we value something that someone's putting a price to, if we're able, we will pay for it. While I believe that news should be accessible to everyone, what I've had to understand is that accessible doesn't necessarily mean free. I'll be interested to see how this works out for media in Bermuda. Having a bias because I'm in this space, I do understand the need to evolve and to be a sustainable business and deliver the quality that they intend to deliver. I get it. As far as Rashida Godwin, I'm ecstatic that they're doing this event. I think that it's long overdue. And my hope is that the community shows up in droves, supports it, and this is the first in many years to come. All right, here's your daily inspiration. Quote, everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love, end quote. And that was Martin Luther King Jr. Folks, please don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.